always be enough fish to eat at.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful.
Hello and welcome. It's Nationwide and we thank you for joining us. I am Lydia Bassi. A strategic meeting aimed at confronting with greater impetus the prevailing challenges of security and socio-economic well-being of Nigerians has ended in Abuja. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that issues relating to terrorism, insurgency, militancy and threat of flooding dominated discussions.
The meeting, coming a day after the release of the new Boko Haram video, was held behind closed doors at the presidential villa. In attendance were the National Security Advisor, the service chiefs, heads of various paramilitary organizations, and some members of the Federal Executive Council. The Chief of Defense Staff gives reasons for the meeting.
The meeting is about how we'll handle crisis.
What crisis?
All sorts of crises, be it flood, be it terrorism, and that's what we have just done.
The most current is this release of the and the challenges posed by Boko Haram.
The video, we are analyzing it, and we're ensuring that we'll make appropriate comment when we get the details.
Boko Haram, they are demanding for the release of declared wanted, reported himself to your men, and he was turned back.
I think if we are handling it, he's reported to the men and he's with them. I don't think it was turned back.
Boko Haram, they are demanding that you free their members in jail and they will release Chiboke's. Are you thinking about it?
That's a political decision to be taken. The military decision is that we are going ahead with our operations, and the operation is being conducted appropriately.
On his part, the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, reassured Nigerians that the federal government has the will, resolve and conviction to secure the release of the Chibok school girls held in captivity by Boko Haram.
What is important to government is the safety and security of these girls. There are a few things you need to do behind the scene which you cannot make public, but what I can assure is that the government is committed to doing everything to rescue these girls. If I say we are speaking, we are engaging them, I'm speaking from a position of authority. So for us, it's not just because they release a video, it's because we believe that there will be no final closure to Boko Haram until and when we're able to resolve the issue of these girls.
The Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Hamid Ali, said the meeting was also aimed at enhancing the capacity of the various agencies towards confronting emergency situations.
It's a little workshop that was arranged for us to be able to understand how to respond to an emergency issues, how to be able to be in a position to advise Mr. President to take the right decision when we have an emergency case in this country, either be it terrorism, flood, or any other thing. So this is a put together component for the entire chief executive to sit down and understand the processes of thinking when there's disaster. And I think that's what we have learned today, and we hope we'll put it into use.
But what prompted this particular meeting, sir?
Well, globally, you know what we're facing today is terrorism. And again, we have disasters in this country. Especially now, I think there has been information going around that some states are going to have floods. And then in terms with this, in tandem with this, we must get prepared, we must be ready.
The meeting lasted about 3 hours. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Still on security, Nigeria is again collaborating with the United States of America in the area of security. This time the foray is in form of joint country action plan that will help in standardizing policies and operations. Waziri Zayan reports in the joint council meeting held in Abuja.
President Buhari's consolidation of Nigeria's civilian security sector got a boost when the National Police Force and its 4 other services were placed under the mandate of the Interior Ministry. This team of U.S. experts in specialized areas of security are in Nigeria to engage their counterparts on strategy delineating distinct roles and responsibilities for specific situations.
This is not the first meeting. This is a meeting that is going to consolidate the previous meetings we've had. And of course, we've already identified the focused areas.
This time around, the meeting is not about what the United States can do for Nigeria, but a collaboration that will take emergency response, human resources management policy, and organizational statements, among others, to the next level on the roadmap in the transparency and accountability of President Buhari's change mantra.
The areas we agreed to partner in are, first, enhancing the Ministry of Interior's nationwide emergency response planning and coordination.
Solutions offered will be Nigerian solutions. We will support and help to implement those where we can.
The team will be in Nigeria for 5 days, and there is general consensus and great expectations that this collaborative effort will be sustained beyond the Obama administration, which is fast coming into twilight. In Abuja, Waziri Zayan, NTA News.
No room for laxity. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai handed down the warning to troops while addressing members of the 63 Regular Corps Nigeria Defense Academy in Jos Plateau State. Defense correspondent Mohammed Abdul Kadir reports.
At the newly rehabilitated Nigerian Defense Academy base, Jos Plateau State, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, told the cadets not to compromise military standard and precision in the tasks ahead.
I want to assure you that you will be exposed to further training and commissioning, both in the theater and indeed in your units and indeed in the various training schools before you are finally deployed.
He directed the cadets to display their mastery of drills and regimentation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The Army boss received briefs on tactical trainings the cadets have gone through and inspected the general area as well as facilities to ensure that they conform with expected standard. The pre-commissioning training for cadets, including painting a war scenario to depict the current security challenges facing the country alongside leadership and adventure tasks. From NDA base Jos Plateau, Muhammad Abdul Kadir, NTA News.
The Nigerian armed military has declared Ahmed Salkida Ahmed Bolori and Aisha Wakil wanted for interrogation over alleged links with Boko Haram insurgents. Acting Director Army Public Relations in a statement says 2 recent videos released by the terrorists point to the fact that the 3 individuals have information on the exact location of the missing Chibok girls and other abductees, which they have refused to disclose to facilitate their rescue. The military, in declaring them wanted, relies on relevant laws of the land, particularly the Terrorism Prevention Act 2011, as amended, and calls on Nigerians to give useful information on their whereabouts. The federal government has launched a new agriculture policy for 2016 to 2020. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the launch described agriculture as the arrowhead that will put the country's economy back on sound footing. Titled The Green Alternative, the agriculture promotion policy is aimed at refocusing the nation on agriculture to meet the domestic food requirements and the standard for export market. And the federal government says it will not make any definite statement on the application of genetically modified organisms until there are scientific evidence to prove. This position was taken at experts' meeting on biosafety and technology in relation to genetically modified organisms held in Abuja. Mayor Ogidi reports.
The debate for or against the application of genetically modified organisms in the agricultural sector has created fears and sentiments among stakeholders and the consuming public. Some attribute cancer and other life-threatening diseases to the consuming of GMO products, while others see it as a cold war between those in the pesticide business and the producers of GMO feeds. Though many countries, especially in the West, have embraced GMOs, but Nigeria, being a leading country in the African continent, seems very careful in embracing GMOs.
In between the fears, the suspicions, and the reality lies the truth. We depend on you to let us know where the truth lies. If we should embrace it, we will. If we shouldn't, we won't. But between us, the ministers, we do not lay claim to full knowledge on this subject, and we will never make any statements until we have the scientific evidence available to us.
From experiences gone by, some of our institutes, like the National Root Crop Research Institute, have concluded a first phase research in biofortified cassava enhanced with provitamin A. There's been so much that we've done already, and I think we need to remember it was done here, and it was done to further the interest of food security that's safe for everyone.
For the agencies charged with the responsibilities in monitoring this sector, GMO products will be properly screened before letting into the Nigerian market space.
Science and technology are the hubs of modern development, and we cannot stand aloof. Safety is the question we are looking at.
Nigerians now await these experts to come up with a definite position on whether or not GMO products are safe for consumption. Mie Ogidi, NT News.
Still on agriculture, our next report is from Gombe, in which Musa Abubakar examines the challenges of cotton production and the way forward in the state.
Gombe State is one of the major cotton-producing areas in northeast Nigeria. Cotton production dates back to the mid-90s when the British Cotton Growers Association set up as a ginnery and collection center. In recent times, the production of cotton has declined in the state.
This is the popular British Cotton Growers Association ginnery, which served as a collection center for cotton over the years. With a drop in the production of cotton, the place is a shadow of its former self.
We are only processing about 10 to 15 tons per day, instead of 50 tons per day.
Despite the challenges, some farmers in parts of Yamaltudiba local government area cultivate the crop. Nasara Agro-Industrial Company and West African Cotton are the only functioning ginnery in the state. Efforts by the government to revive cotton farming in the state is yet to yield the desired effect.
The state and other states are also giving cotton farmers the necessary incentives through input and improve seeds.
If we are talking about diversifying the Nigerian economy, the agricultural sector is key to it. And the textile industry is key. We need good seeds to plant.
There is the need for government to key in as it makes effort to diversify the economy. In Gombe, I am Musa Abubakar.
Now to the environment. 4 years after the 2012 floods ravaged many communities across the country, leaving a trail of destruction, there are meteorological predictions that another equally devastating disaster is imminent. Guests on NTS Good Morning Nigeria discuss proactive measures to prevent as well as manage any likely effect the anticipated flooding may bring along. Ngufan Shaji reports.
The devastating floods of 2012 was the worst Nigeria has witnessed in 40 years. Official figures indicate that 363 people were killed and over 2.1 million were displaced after 4 months of severe flooding. Experts on the environment submit that a holistic flood management approach by government and its agencies is needed to address the situation, particularly the continuous occupation of flood-prone areas by people.
With the saturation of the ground, the soil moisture was already beyond the minimum required. It was clear, therefore, to issue our weather alert, informing Nigerians of the prospects of flooding.
I'm a little bit worried because all the things we have been saying so far from most of the agencies here, to me, appear as reactive. I think our strategy is hinged more on a reactive approach, I have not seen a very clear strategy that makes us look very, very proactive.
What we do at NEMA is to collect information from NIMET as well as from NISA. And the latest information is that the water from Niger River has risen to a level that if the rain continues this way with high intensity, there will be flooding comparable with what we have in 2012.
You can do, they call it watershed management, to make sure that most of the rain drops and the overland flow that comes, most of it should be clean, in which case you plant trees or you can also build ponds.
The state is being a lot more proactive. The best we can do, it is natural disaster, and everybody needs to be very prepared.
Indiscriminate dumping of refuse and blockage of waterways with low institutional capacity, mismanagement of relief funds as well as non-implementation of disaster plans were all highlighted. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji, NTA News.
Now to aviation. The Senate Committee on Aviation has advised facilitating and unbundling of the sector in line with international best practices. This was at an interactive session between the committee and heads of the aviation agencies and parastatals. Mohammed Ali reports.
Senate President Bukola Saraki had at the last Senate plenary before senators went on their end-of-session recess announced changes in leadership of 17 committees. One of the committees affected is the Senate Committee on Aviation, where the chairman, Senate Hope Uzodinma, swapped positions with Adamu Aleru, then of Customs Committee. As the implementation of the 2016 budget progresses, the new chairman of the Aviation Committee, Senator Adamu Aleru, led other members to interact with heads of aviation agencies and parastatals.
We are here to make sure that all obstacles that are affecting aviation subsector be removed for you to function smoothly.
Nowhere will you succeed if you want to operate outside the rules of engagement that is known in the industry.
Other issues that featured prominently at the session include repatriation of funds by foreign airlines, national carrier, and the ongoing shortage of aviation fuel.
It is very embarrassing for foreign airlines to be going to neighboring countries to fuel before coming into Nigeria, despite the fact that we are an oil-producing nation. And we promise that we will look into this problem and we will do our very best to find a solution to it.
Senator Adamu Aleru says the Senate Committee on Aviation intends to give much focus on implementation of the allocations in the aviation sector as contained in the 2016 budget. From the National Assembly, Mohammed Ali, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide. Federal government reaffirms provision of affordable housing for civil servants. This and more with Vera in Lagos. Hello, Vera. It's over to you.
Thank you, Lydia. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. The federal government is to collaborate with the Lagos state government in the provision of cost-effective houses for federal civil servants in line with the Federal Integrated Staff Housing Program. Head of Civil Service of the Federation, Winifred Oyoita, made this known when she paid a courtesy visit to the Lagos State Governor, Akinwumi Ambode, at the State House, Ikeja.
Federation, Winifred Oyoita, says that the Federal Integrated Staff Housing Program, FISH, will address welfare concerns of civil servants by enabling them own homes as a means to uplift their morale, commitment, stewardship, and quality during and after service.
Why we have come here is to discuss with you, with Your Excellency, and of course your key advisors in the housing and infrastructure sector in Lagos State, to see how the FISH program can also have opportunity of getting land from the Lagos State government.
Oyoita also explained that government decision to address workers' housing challenges was premised on the fact that housing was a basic need in every society and a prerequisite for motivating workers.
Lagos State is the commercial capital of Nigeria. And apart from the fact that quite a number of Lagos State indigents who are federal civil servants would want to own their homes here in Lagos State.
Lagos State Governor, who was represented by the State Head of Service, Olabowale Ademola, commended the federal government for the initiative and pledged their support.
And corporate organizations having advised to imbibe quality leadership styles and values that will positively improve and promote sustainable development in the country. Speakers gave the advice at a seminar organized by the Junior Chamber International in Lagos. Ken Egbeliwe has details.
Good leadership has been described as one of the basic elements required to reposition Nigeria for a better future. Speakers at the seminar expressed concern at the death of quality leadership in the country. They are of the opinion that if Nigeria is to assert itself in the Committee of Nations, the issue of ensuring good leadership becomes imperative.
It's no longer in the hands of people who are of the older generation, who are literally on their way out, to plan for what this country will need in the next 50, 100 years. So young people have to take this responsibility, and I think that's where the change has to come from.
Start thinking outside the box. I always preach that we must have more entrepreneurs. We cannot all wait for government to employ us.
The organizer of the seminar highlighted the relevance as it concerned the Nigerian youth.
We say we are youths and we call ourselves active citizens. We should be able to make a difference in our society.
Some participants spoke on the benefits of the seminar.
Youths should not be backbenchers. They should be very active, in the society.
We listen to all these motivational speakers and we listen to them try to imbibe and not really looking at what they are doing really, but what they say at times, make use of them to better our own life.
The seminar on leadership values is aimed at addressing leadership challenges in the country. In Lagos, Ken Egbeliwe, NTA News.
And that does it from Lagos. Lydia is back to you for more on Nationwide News.
Many thanks, Vera. The National Youth Council of Nigeria has adopted a petition written to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, urging the commission to investigate Abdulmumin Jibrin, member representing Kiru, Bebeji Federal Constituency of Kano State, and the Federal Commissioner of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons over alleged multi-million naira fraud amounting to over 400 million naira. Ali Tukur reports.
The petition, which is dated 26 July 2016, is alleging that in September 2014, the Federal Commissioner of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons awarded 10 contracts in one day to 5 companies believed to belong to Abdulmumin Jibrin. According to the petition, the suspicious things about the contracts, which amount to 418 million naira, were awarded to Kano State as beneficiary, and that all the award letters were copied to Abdulmumin Jibrin as no other House of Representative member from Kano, Senator or the Governor of the state was copied.
Because Jibri has been at the forefront of asking that the appropriation process be sanitized, it is important we understand the role he has played in messing up the appropriation process since he came to the Federal House of Representatives.
He who comes to equity must come with clean hands. He has been alleging that the national budget was padded. By who? By the Speaker and other honorable members. Yes, if he is preaching equity, he should do equity as well. That is why we have come here.
Efforts to get response from the Federal Commissioner of the Commission and the former Chairman House Committee on Appropriation proved abortive. In Abuja, Aliu Tuku, NTA News.
Riot in University of Calabar as placard carrying workers blocked entrance to the main gate, protesting non-payment of outstanding entitlements, seeking the intervention of the office of the bursar, Mr. Amama Agi. Suspected cultists manhandled protesting staff, and timely intervention of the police led to the arrest of the suspected cultists on rampage. The university's PRO, Mr. Efyong Eyo, in a telephone interview with Mary Enang, says the situation has been brought under control with staff going about their normal business. The new Chief Executive of National Library, Professor Olatokunbo Aino, has advocated participatory leadership and pledged to be transparent and fair. He stated this while taking over the mantle of leadership from the outgoing chief executive, Malam Habib Abajata, who expressed confidence in the ability of his successor to consolidate on his achievements and move the institution to greater heights. It will be recalled that President Muhammadu Buhari recently appointed Professor Olatokunbo Aino as a new National Librarian for the National Library of Nigeria. The new National Librarian, a professor of Library and Information Sciences, is immediate past dean of the Faculty of Communications and Information Science, University of Ilorin, and until his appointment, a visiting professor, Africa Regional Center of Information Science, University of Ibadan. You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. A strategic meeting aimed at confronting, let's go to our next story now. Nigerians urged to pray for President Buhari to achieve his set developmental agenda. Details when we return.
You hear a bomb explosion or gunshots of an active shooter. That might be a terror attack. At such times, always remember 3 action words. Run, hide, report. Don't try to run toward. There might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. When in a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities and help will come. For anonymous reporting, call 09630-3250-5 or 0813-2222-106. If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
The 2016 Hajj operations in focus this week on NTA Tuesday Live as experts deliberate on innovations towards a smooth exercise. NTA Tuesday Live, incisive, educative, and informative. Don't be told.
Do you know that the numerous challenges being experienced by the media houses pose a serious threat to the professional excellence in the media house? Who says public and private media houses are not counting losses from the prevailing economic circumstances? These and much more will be addressed in a 2-day seminar tagged The Media in a Distressed Economy, The Way Out. Resource persons include Professor Ralph Akinfeleye, Ambassador Yemi Farombi, Dr. Tony Iradia, Alhaji Garbadin Mohammed, Mrs. Ifeinwa Omowole, Mr. Unduka Obagbena, Comrade Wahid Odusile. Date 24th to 25th August 2016. Participation fee 10,000 naira only. Venue Center of Excellence in Multimedia Technology and Cinematography, University of Lagos, Akoka. Event will be declared open by Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa. For inquiries,
this is a sheer exhibition of your primitive atavistic tendency.
Any student who does not donate to my ministry will not be blessed by the ministry.
A phenomenon that defies the norm. A comedy and social satire that touches all, bears all, and shakes you up like never before.
Yeah, like after now you go say na me they talk all is about the bad thing where they have for this one.
Glow presents Professor John Bull, the biggest thing on your TV this season. Starring Kanayo Okanayo, Mercy Johnson, Queen Wokoye, Yomi Fash Lanso, Funky Malam, Ime Bishop, Bimbo Akintola, Oguz Baba, Bidemi Kosoko, Junior Pope MC for God, Stephen Odigbe, and a host of other mega stars.
Within April 12th, there is a Yura.
Intellectual
Professor John Bull every Tuesday and Friday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. on NTA International, NTA Network, and Star Time.
Over and out.
The largest data network, Glow Unlimited.
Digital technology and information is changing the world. For our children to stay ahead and compete globally, they must evolve from being users to creators of technology. Digital Peers International, in conjunction with partners, is organizing the 16th edition of Digitest, tagged Entrepreneurship, a roadmap to a sustainable future for children aged 8 to 18 years and school teachers. Dates: August 24th to September 2nd, 2016, Abuja. Kids will be taught on how to code, design and build mobile and desktop apps. For registration and participation, visit www.digitalpeers.org or call the numbers on your screen. The digital revolution has already begun. Do not allow your kids to be left out.
We intend to radically change Newman Street. My company has a track record of converting slums into new cities. Many years of experience has taught us to fish out allies within the communities we want to transform.
Don't listen to your husband. Listen to me. Give me a boy. And the two of you may never even have to work again.
Sharp guy, how are you? What's your name?
Akpos. America.
Oh, Akpos America.
Yeah, one. No, be two.
Wonderful wonder. Wonderful wonder.
Successful political change must begin to improve people's daily lives. That is the democracy dividend Nigerians have waited for. But no one should expect that all the damage done over a generation can be undone in a year. Real change demands perseverance and patience. It demands openness to honorable compromise and cooperation. It demands support on a constant basis from the people of Nigeria and from your friends abroad. That does not mean being patient with corruption or injustice, but to give up hope because change comes slowly would only be to hand a victory to those who do not want to change at all. Remember something we Americans have learned in over 224 years of experience with democracy. It is always and everywhere a work in progress.
Welcome back. Thanks for being there. Police in Kebbi State rescues abducted Chief Imam. Let's join Zainab in Sokoto for this and other reports from that center. Zainab, it's over to you.
Thank you, Lydia, and welcome. In an effort to spread wealth among citizens so as to rid the streets of beggars, Sokoto State government has directed persons with disability to register with the State Zakat and Endowment Committee. This will afford such category of people enjoy monthly allowance, which was flagged off by the state governor, Aminu Waziri Tambol. Muhammad Nasir reports.
Street begging by disabled persons has become a common sight in all the nooks and crannies of Sokoto metropolis. To reduce the menace, Sokoto state government has over the years been paying 6,500 naira monthly allowances to this category of people. The recent directive by Sokoto State Governor to register more disabled persons to benefit from the allowances was to further curb the menace.
We will not condone laxity, nepotism, or any attitude capable of undermining our promises and commitment to serve our society to the best of our ability.
Sultan of Sokoto, represented by Obando Mangari Muhammadu Bello Abubakar, assured Sultanate Council's support to the program and commended the role of district and village heads in that direction. Overseer of Zakat and Endowment Committee Lola Muhammad Medweki said part of the program introduced is distribution of 14,000 moringa seedlings to the beneficiaries for medical and economic benefits. The flag up of payment of monthly allowances, future distribution of food items, youth empowerment equipment, and cash assistance for medical care of indigent patients across the state. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasir, NTA News.
Kebbi State Police Command says the kidnapped Chief Imam of Sanchi in Zuru Emirate of the state has been rescued and the ransom amount of 10 million naira also recovered from his abductors. Nuratanku Wakili has more.
The chief imam was kidnapped in his hometown, Senchi, and his abductors demanded for 10 million naira to release him. The police commissioner said 10 million naira paid for his release. Bullet shells and other items were recovered, although the suspects escaped with gunshots after exchanging fire with police. The commissioner also disclosed that within the period, the police busted a fertilizer adulteration syndicate taking advantage of unsuspecting farmers in the state.
They mix it with stones. Very sad. You know, we all know how expensive it is, even though most of you don't look like farmers. You know, it costs between 9 to 10,000, but some scrupulous Nigerians will mix it with sand and sell it. The case is under investigation. We have made some arrests, and we hope to make more arrests.
The Commissioner of Police, Kabir Ibrahim, said some suspects have also been arrested in cases of culpable homicide and kidnapping.
We are here to fight crime alone together, and I am assuring you we are going to do everything we can to make Kebbi State safe and secure.
Alhaji Kabir Ibrahim acknowledged the peace and low level of crimes in the state and urged people to provide information to the police that will assist them in fighting crimes. In Birnin Kebbi, Nuratanku Wakili, NTA News.
Towards complementing Kebbi State government's efforts in moving the education sector forward, wife of the Deputy Governor has distributed furniture and books to schools in the state. Shehu Muhammad Detti has the report.
The initiative was to further enhance girl-child enrollment through provision of conducive learning environment in line with the present administration's drive in the state. Wife of Kebbi State Deputy Governor Hajia Halima Yombe identified youth entrepreneurship development, information and communication technology, women rights and fight against child labor and human trafficking as her priorities in contributing to development of Kebbi State. Stakeholders at the event expressed commitment to the initiative and called for support from all stakeholders. They also urged beneficiaries to utilize the items provided. The distribution of chairs, bags, books, and other items is expected to cover the 21 local government areas of the state. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
And as it from here, it's back to Lydia. Good afternoon.
Many thanks, Zainab. Emir of Daura, Alhaji Umar Farouk Umar, has called on Nigerians to continue praying for President Muhammadu Buhari to achieve his set developmental agenda for the country. The Emir made the call while on traditional tour of Daura's Emirates district. Ado Ali Ibrahim tells us details.
Historically, Rangadi traditional tour was inherited by House of Fulani royal fathers from their ancestors. As the saying goes, hold on tight to the words of your ancestors. So Emir of Daura, Alhaji Umar Farouk Umar, holds it by embarking a traditional tour to Sandamu, Mayadwa, Baure, among other 16 district head villages of the Emirates. While addressing gathering in Sandamu, the monarch said he do pace the event on its rainy season so as to create avenue for interaction with his masses at localities to discuss on their farms activities, government policies, and praise for the bumper harvest. However, the Emir urged Zango local government people to remain vigilant and enroll their children in Islamic and Western education. He also called Nigerians to bear with present administration in its effort to diversify the current economy. The royal father, Alhaji Umar Farouk Umar, father seeks people's well wishes and praise to President Muhammadu Buhari and Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari to render their obligations. Senior Council member Galadiman Daura Alhaji Ahmed Didiri sheds more lights on the MS Rangadi traditional tour.
A leader is supposed to be with his people. He should come out to them, not him, the emir, staying in the palace only, but he goes out and he meets the people. They shake hands, they see him face to face. He is very healthy, they are very healthy, they are very happy, and you can see their response. They are very happy to see their emir now so close to them.
Adu Ali Ibrahim, NTN News.
Back to Abuja, the West African Civil Society Forum has opened its 6th biennial People's Forum in Abuja. Minister of Solid Minerals Fayode Fayemi, while declaring the workshop open, observed that The activities of the body must be seen to resonate with the vision of ECOWAS, which for now is far-fetched. Ogechi Paul was there.
Minister of Solid Minerals, Fayemi Kayode, who left no one in doubt of his pedigree as a civil society activist turned politician, observed that the strategic position of West African Civil Society Forum, WACSOF, as a platform for the aggregation of civil society interests and intervention across the 15 states of West Africa is yet to resonate with the visions of ECOWAS.
How do we ensure that we really have citizens that have rights and that the leaders that they've elected also take those rights passionately? What is the role of civil society leadership in insisting on these things happening?
The realization of ECOWAS' vision of regional integration, stability and economic and political development in West Africa, it was observed, is still work in progress, since the ideals of democratic governance in the member states have been largely observed in the breach. Cote d'Ivoirian Nathalie Traoré is president, WACSOF.
As a civil society activist, we can have a clear-cut position to say this is what we really want and this is how it should be. So again, WACSOF is not afraid of working with ECOWAS, because ECOWAS will not have the potential, will not want to swallow WACSOF.
We want to make sure that the election, reflects the people's, votes, and as a result of lack of human and financial resources, we are not able to cover all the election in the region.
We in civil society are central to the definition of the people. By working together, I think we can move West Africa forward.
The urgent need for a mindset revolution to advance the cause of an ECOWAS of peoples rather than the ECOWAS of West African states was the focus of the keynote address, a challenge to WACSOF, just as an ECOWAS executive underscored the place of WACSOF in advancing the ECOWAS Vision 2020.
It is clear that collaboration on the ECOWAS regional agenda in West Africa is weak and uncoordinated on the regional scale. And this is where WACSOF has got a role to play.
We hope that many more thematic groups of civil society organizations will be put in place immediately after this People's Forum.
The expected outcomes from the workshop will include a renewed and strengthened governance structures for WACSOF. Ogechi Paul, NTA News.
This is nationwide. Chief of Air Staff inaugurates projects at Enugu Air Force Base. Chiogonu is our guide.
Good afternoon, Lydia, and welcome to Enugu. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, says the Nigerian Air Force is committed towards providing intervention to ameliorate critical challenges confronting the various Air Force bases across the country. Amaka Owo reports that this was stated during the inauguration of flats and 30,000 liters overhead water reservoir at the Air Force Base, Enugu.
Commission this block of flats. To God be the glory.
That was the commissioning of the new 2-story building for married officers and unveiling of the 100,000 liters on the ground and 30,000 liters overhead water reservoirs at the Air Force Base and Mini Barracks Enugu. Representing the Chief of the Air Staff, Chief of Administration, Nigerian Air Force Headquarters, Air Vice Marshal Austin Jekenu, while inspecting the project, said this gesture is in fulfillment of the promise made by the Air Chief during his last visit to officers of the base in January this year, where he saw firsthand the level of infrastructural decay at the barracks, Air Force School, and water scarcity experienced by men of the force. Air Vice Marshal Austin Jekonu said efforts are in progress towards relocating the mini barracks Ababa to a permanent site.
Plans are already underway to move to a permanent site, which is just close by, adjacent to the Air Force Base in Emena itself.
The Commander, 39 Base Service Group, Air Commodore Beniza Olayinka Alade, while appreciating the Chief of the Air Staff, said the commissioning of the project is a robust logistic support for maintaining and sustaining platforms and equipment serviceability.
I would therefore like to seize this opportunity to reassure the Chief of the Air Staff that we shall ensure these infrastructures are judiciously utilized and maintained to the best of our ability.
The Air Chief also urged officers to continue to promote and inculcate core values of integrity, excellence in service delivery.
The completion of this block of flats is in line with the vision of the Nigerian Air Force to cater for the welfare needs of the officers. From the Air Force Base, Enugu, Amaka O, NT News.
The Enugu State Executive Council has approved the recruitment and engagement of 2,000 primary school teachers. Briefing journalists after the Executive Council meeting, Commissioner for Information, Dr. Godwin Udohele, said the plan is to enhance teaching and learning in schools. Ijoma Ugoke tells us more.
The Commissioner said those to be employed must possess a minimum qualification of National Certificate on Education from a recognized institution in the country. On the modalities of the recruitment, Dr. Dumele said that the recruitment will reflect 100 persons from each of the 17 council areas.
In Enugu State, we have 260 political wards. What we insisted on is that for the past years, when you post somebody to a rural area, he will quickly move up to the urban area. But the schools in the rural area suffer.
The Executive Council approved the termination of the appointments of all the educational secretaries in the local government areas to enhance the development of primary schools in the state. Council also approved the dissolution of the board of the State Water Corporation, as well as the removal of the managing director of the State Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Agency, NRWASA. Due to the multiple complaints against the operation of the Traffic Control Enforcement Team of the State Ministry of Transport in Enugu Metropolis, Council approved the immediate withdrawal of the Traffic Control Team from the roads. The measures Dr. Dumele said is to enable the officers embark on intensive retraining. In Enugu, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
With the recent reported cases of increase in ATM security PIN fraud, some security agents in Enugu State have re-emphasized the need for people to be security conscious and know the environment they live in to save them from falling into the hands of fraudsters.
Of security reports flying about have it that ATM security PIN numbers can now be used in the internet by fraudulent and criminal-minded people to hack into people's private bank accounts and draw their money in millions and dollars. The police public relations officer, Superintendent of Police Ebera Marizu, confirmed this rise in ATM PIN code fraud and called for caution when drawing money from the ATM machines.
Somebody will not send a text message that you should come and upgrade your ATM in line with this and all that, and they give this. They give you, you now text your number. You text your number. That number you've released, that your PIN code release is what I'm going to use.
Again, there are reports of car battery theft in residential areas where car owners wake up and their car batteries, car radio sets, and brain boxes are gone. Workshop mechanics told NTA News that even cars parked at the workshops are not safe.
It's so hard, and the battery itself add money so much, more than expectations.
It is common knowledge that security consciousness begins with the individual, extends to the immediate environment, and reaches the larger society. Security agents have therefore called for consciousness wherever one finds himself. That wraps it up from here. Lydia, over now to you for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Chegonu. The first batch of Muslim pilgrims to Saudi Arabia has been airlifted from the Maiduguri International Airport with 410 pilgrims on board. Amina Fidi Amadu reports.
The pilgrims were earlier screened at the Hajj camp by officials of the Amirul Hajj team and officials of the pilgrims' board. The flight departed the Maiduguri International Airport headed for Medina with more than 400 pilgrims on board. Addressing the pilgrims before their departure, Borno State Amirul Hajj Osman Mamandurpa urged them to be good ambassadors of the state while in the Holy Land.
Where we are going, they have their own national law. So we are appealing for them that they let them obey the law of the Saudi Arabia. And we are behind anyone who is not violating the law there, but we are not behind anybody who is not violating the law here.
Secretary of the board, Aja Bukar, urged the pilgrims not to contravene the law as stiffer penalties await offenders.
We have apprehended one person and he is not going on this plot. That is his punishment.
Some of the pilgrims are sure to be good ambassadors and to pray for lasting peace in the state and the country. Maiduguri, Amina Fide Amadu, NTA News.
Benue State government sets to open up more roads. Details with Pam in our Makudi Network Center.
Thanks, Lydia, and welcome to Makudi. The Benue State government is to complete the Makudi Beach Road abandoned 23 years ago to reduce heavy traffic along Boko Road and to encourage beach tourism. Governor Samuel Otom made this known during an inspection tour of some projects in Makudi, the state capital. Achigili Magaji reports.
The Makudi Beach Road, initiated by the Adanso administration, could not be completed before the military intervention. During the inspection, the governor observed that opening up the road has become imperative to diversify sources of revenue through tourism.
I see that this was a foresight to tap into the tourism potentials that we have in Benue State, because constructing a road at the beach will provide several opportunities for tourists and also business opportunities for those who own several attractions in tourism.
On the impending flood predicted by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, the governor advised those living along the riverbank to relocate to safer grounds. He expressed satisfaction with the level of work at the School of Nursing and Midwifery, Makudi. Governor Thomas assured that everything has been done to meet the accreditation criteria by the Nursing and Midwifery Council. At the Benue Printing and Publishing Company, the governor expressed the readiness of government to restructure it to become more resort-oriented. In Makudi, Achigli Magaji, NTA News.
Still on infrastructure, Governor Darius Dixon Ishaku says he will continue to support efforts that will ensure the upliftment and sustenance of engineering standards in the country. Joseph Otsen reports that the governor stated this at the inauguration of Engineering Regulation Monitoring Inspection Team for the 6 states of the Northeast in Jalingo.
In line with efforts to stop the spike of collapsing buildings and infrastructure like roads and bridges due to poor quality work, the Council for the Regulation of Engineers in Nigeria and the Nigerian Society of Engineers have come together to set up monitoring inspectorates for each of the 36 states in Nigeria. The team from Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, Taraba, and Yobe were inaugurated in this event in Jalingo with a mandate to oversee and ensure that engineering and safety standards are complied with in their respective states. Taraba State Governor Darius Dixon Ishaku, represented by the Deputy Governor Haruna Manu, listed some factors ranging from poor design of projects by quacks, poor supervision, use of substandard construction materials, and shoddy deals by players in the construction industry are responsible for many cases of collapsed buildings, roads, and bridges in the country.
It is painful to note that Nigeria ranks high amongst countries with frequent incidents of building collapse.
The president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Otis Oliver Anyeji, and the Council for the Regulation of Engineers in Nigeria, Kashim Ali, who were represented at the event, emphasized the need for the public, institutional, and government support to stop the activities of quacks across the country. In Jalingo, Joseph Uten, NTA News.
And that will be it from Makudi. It's now over to you, Lydia, for the rest of Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Many thanks, Pam. Nigerians are enjoined to give thanks to God always for open doors and to release God's efficiency and efficacy. This was a message delivered by Pastor Akin Akinigbagbe of Glorious Assembly Area, Redeemed Christian Church of God, at a Thanksgiving service in Abuja. It was Thanksgiving all through as worshippers gathered to celebrate God's faithfulness and blessings. Pastor Akin Akinigbagbe, in his sermon titled Unlimited Thanks to God, emphasized that thanksgiving is an obligation of every Christian.
One thing that makes one to be above is this one, is developing attitude of thanksgiving. Challenges are bound to come. Don't allow your challenges to deprive you from appreciating your makers.
He added that forgetfulness, unhealthy competition, and Satan's deceit should be avoided as they hinder thanksgiving.
The Lord Almighty is adding to the church expansion in every ramifications. So we believe it is we deem it fit as a church to really appreciate God.
Children were not left out in praise and thanksgiving. Global Tidbits is next. Let's join Gabriel Odu.
Of the 1,156 constituencies, incumbent President Edgar Lungu is leading in 132 constituencies as declared by Zambia's electoral body. Opposition contender of the United Party for National Development, Hakainde Hichilema, has called for a recount of the votes cast in the capital Lusaka. In Juba, South Sudan, President Salva Kiir has officially opened the first session of the parliament since signing the agreement in 2015 meant to end the country's civil unrest. The Transitional National Legislative Assembly is also to discuss the United Nations resolution to send a 4,000 African Union Protection Force to the country. Away from Africa now, migrant workers in the region of Siberia, Russia have been banned from working as school teachers, bus or taxi drivers, as well as lawyers and accountants under a new ruling, reports say. That's Global Tidbits. Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
Amazi Marcos has an update from Rio on the Olympics. President Muhammadu Buhari has sent a message of condolence to the family of Honora Abua, who passed away on Sunday in Abuja. This is contained in a statement by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity for the President, Femi Adesina. The President noted his long and rich career in the office where he served. And that concludes the news. We thank you for watching. Do have a pleasant evening. Bye for now.